Students will ask me, does Jesus actually have a culture, and would knowing that culture help us to understand a passage of Scripture more effectively? My answer is yes. If you look at Luke chapter 7, for instance, Jesus has been invited over to the home of a distinguished Pharisee named Simon. Now, these gatherings of Jews would take place on a regular basis. They were called Hevarim. They were friends. That's what the word Hevarim means. They were friends seated together, only men, and they talked theology at night, and they had a wonderful meal. Jesus has been invited in. But what you and I miss in the story is that Jesus has been offended socially in the meal. For instance, Simon never kisses him when he walks into the room. Simon never has his feet washed by a servant. Simon gives him no greetings, no welcome, and therefore you begin to wonder, is this a setup to offend Jesus? Simon doesn't even give him the customary scented oil perfume that they put over their hair to sort of come to the table feeling very good and fresh. No, none of that happens. So instead, a woman who has met Jesus somewhere in the village breaks through the crowd of onlookers, rushes up to the table, and as Jesus is reclining at meal, she holds onto his legs and begins then to kiss him. Now, that is an electrifying scene, and within it, there are many, many symbols of culture that you and I might miss. My point is this. It is impossible to understand Luke chapter 7 unless you know about a dozen coded messages inside of the story. You can read it as a 21st century reader, but you will miss most of its message.